going from the NFC to the AFC, we have Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Out of these two teams, who has a better chance to win the NFC South?
See, I'm going to keep sticking with it. Actually, I'm rephrase that whole sentence. I messed myself up. I wanted to keep sticking with the Falcons.
Okay.
Right. But I'm realizing, especially after this game, I don't know if just maybe the Bucs are still a little bit better built all around. And I think Baker gives you more of a shot in these last, like 4 or 5 games here.
Okay.
I feel like I'm leaning Baker and I'm leaning the Bucs over the Falcons at this point because the Falcons have everything else really. Not everything else. The trenches, you still like the D-line. Like the Bucs have pieces. The Bucs have still have some stars and receivers. But then also, it's the thing is, I'm mixing myself up here. It's kind of like the Bucs. What I'm really trying to say, the Bucs have good pieces. The Falcons have good pieces. But overall, when you go Baker and Ritter like head to head,
yeah, I'm taking Baker every time.
I'm taking the Bucs stockpile over Falcons. So it's like,
I think my thing with the Bucs and the Falcons is, regardless of how you feel about the actual roster construction of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, let's not forget they won a Super Bowl less than 5 years ago. So there's still some of those core pieces from that Super Bowl team on this team. So they know what they need to bring to win games down the stretch in an NFL season. So I think that is probably the biggest difference between the Buccaneers. And regardless about how you feel about Todd Bowles, he does have a Super Bowl ring as a defensive coordinator. Regardless how you feel about him as a head coach, doesn't matter. This division is all over the place. So even that's the thing is, like, even with Baker not playing his best, they found a way to get the W. And I feel like both these teams are scrappy, but like we're saying, the Bucs are more of that established, know how to take care of business. And I just don't know how much I trust Desmond Ridder to be that guy down the stretch.
Well, and I'll even add this on top of it. How much do you trust that if there's a game where their season's on the line, like this is the game we got to win to make it to the playoffs? Who do you have more faith in that's going to show up, Baker or Ridder?
Baker,
see, me personally, I think a Baker would be the type of, he's going to fight and show up that day.
Well, I mean, Baker's also playing for a job. I mean, not that Desmond Ridder is not, but Baker's already on like his 4th or 5th team. This is Ritter's first team. Like, he may get another opportunity. Baker, I feel like, will always be that rotational backup guy. Put him in. He could spot start you. I don't know if he'll ever be like a long-term starter, but he is better than a chunk of quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, he's not a bad player.
We're in a very weird spot in the NFL where there are some teams that have like backups that are potentially better than some starters. And it's a weird thing we got going on here.
I think the biggest thing we can take away from this game going to the other side of the field with the Atlanta Falcons is that their playmakers made plays. Even Bijan in his limited touches, he did okay. But Drake London went crazy.
No, oh yeah. So he went nuclear. The 10 receptions, 172 yards. This was the main note I wanted to highlight here.
Okay,
because this goes back to my original point earlier in the year about Art Smith. What is he doing? Like, it's like, no, it's genuinely to a point. Like, Art has to, and back to my fucking cushy seat thing. He's rolling back a blunt on his fucking cushy chair because anybody who was genuinely fighting for the job right now, you're telling me you're going to give your first round future All-Pro stud with your season on the line 15 touches?
Yeah.
Just tell me how that makes any sense. Unless you have your job the next season, which he does. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, you're literally fighting this game. If you won this game, their playoff chances shot up like 35%. You're telling me in a game where if somebody came to a piece of paper, you got a 35% chance. We already had like a 40% chance.
Right.
You're going up to like a 75% chance to make the playoffs this year. All you got to do, it's not that easy. But let's just say, giving Bijan 20, 25 more touches, you think that wouldn't have brought the chances to win this game up more? You think that wasn't? I don't know.
No, I agree with you.
I don't know what he like.
And
what
those
is he
15
thinking?
touches aren't just rushing touches. That is with like his receptions. So he had 10 carries. And my issue is, even if you're going to give him like limited carries on the ground, I mean, Algier had 9. Cordell Patterson shouldn't be getting a carry. All those carries that go to Cordell Patterson should be going to Bijan Robinson. Like, there's no reason Cordell Patterson should be touching the ball in the backfield when you have Bijan and Tyler Algier.
And my thing is, too, a guy like Bijan, like, they're not even using him for, in my opinion, the type of stuff you can really, really use him for. And hear me out. Like, if you get this man outside the numbers way more, and I'm talking about consistently, get the defense moving, get them tired. Why are you not using him for that? Bijan will tire out a defense so fast if you just let him, but they literally don't let him.
Yeah.
They let him get them going a little bit, and then they tell him to come back to the bench for another 7 snaps.